Good day, folks. Welcome to Just Omer. And my name is Omer Ahern Jr. And I am a Grafton County Commissioner from District 3 here in Grafton County, New Hampshire. I am one of three county commissioners here in Grafton County. I serve with Commissioner Wendy Piper from District 1, and she serves, or she's elected from the towns of Hanover, Lebanon, and Enfield. And we serve with Commissioner Linda Lauer, who is from District 2, which involves the towns from the western and northern part of Grafton County, Bath, New Hampshire, North Haverhill, Orford, and up into Monroe, etc., Bethlehem, Littleton. And the towns in District 3 that I'm from are here in the eastern and southern part of Grafton County. We go up as far as Campton and Warren and over to Canaan and down to Bristol, Alexandria, and of course Hebron, Holderness, and Plymouth. There's about 15 or 16 towns in District 3. And our job as commissioners is to manage and make sure that the county facility, the county operations up in North Haverhill and throughout the county are working according to the New Hampshire statutes. So counties in New Hampshire, the county operations were first started back in the 1870s, and primarily the counties are responsible for providing nursing home care, in a nursing home of course, and also providing care or providing services in a correctional department. And we have a Department of Corrections up in North Haverhill, House of Correction, and a jail for pretrial confinement. House of Correction is for those who have been found guilty of a criminal offense and have been sentenced to a year and a day or less in prison. If someone is sentenced to more than a year and a day, then that sentence has to be served in the state's prison, either down in Concord or up in Berlin. And the third component that's especially, I think, important and critical to the Grafton County operations is the farm. That's the third part of county government, county operations. And Grafton County right now is the last of the 10 counties here in New Hampshire that still has an active, working farm. We have a dairy farm where we make milk, and we sell that milk to Agrimark, and that brings some revenue into the county. We also have some fantastic vegetable fields where right now, because of the shortage of labor out of the House of Correction, we are still growing potatoes, red and white potatoes, and we are also growing winter squash and pumpkins. And this time of year, we're still growing and harvesting sweet corn. And of course, we grow silage corn and hay and alfalfa to feed the dairy cows that are part of our Grafton County operation. The county commissioners serve for 2-year terms, and the county commissioners meet at least once a week, and normally it's on a Tuesday morning, although last week, the 16th of August, we met in the afternoon because we had a public hearing, and evidently there are some rules and regulations with regard to public hearings involving taxpayer money, either federal or I get a feeling it's federal money. The public hearings have to be in the afternoon. It has to be a meeting that is posted, noticed, and so and to make it easier and less expensive on the taxpayer, the county commissioners tried to hold their public hearings at the same time that there is a commissioners meeting. So I've got to report on the meeting of August 16th, last week's meeting, and then the meeting that we had yesterday, the August 23rd meeting, and that was a morning meeting. So I'll just quickly go over some of the things that we talk about and have to decide upon at our county meetings. It may be a little bit boring, but folks, what we do as county commissioners is very important to a lot of people. Number one, if you look at your property tax bill, you're going to see that there is an item there for county taxes. And the decisions that the county commissioners make determine whether or not that your county tax bill is going to go up, or your county tax bill is going to stay the same, or it's going to go down. And I am proud to say that this present fiscal year, which started on July 1st, the county tax rate is going down 1.54%. Going down, not up. But unfortunately, the county commissioners have nothing to do with the school district tax rate or your town or municipal tax rate. So on last Tuesday, on the 16th, we always start out with a Pledge of Allegiance. The meeting started at 2 o'clock. And then we had the first item on the agenda was a discussion with the Assistant Maintenance Superintendent, Rick Colbeth, and he wanted the commissioners to vote on a bid for drilling water wells. The county is trying to save some money by, instead of purchasing its water from the local municipal water system, with all the land, the wonderful land that we've got, we got 750 acres of woodlands that the county owns. We have about 75 acres of farmland, and then we have a 25-acre county complex where the county courthouse is located, the Department of Corrections facility is located, the nursing home and county administration buildings are located, and where the farm buildings are located, the dairy barns, the hay barns. So we're trying to figure out ways that we can more efficiently run the county operations, and one of those things is to have our own water wells rather than buying water from the local municipality. So we voted on the two bids that were presented to the county on getting ready to look into drilling some water wells at the facility. Then the next person on the agenda was the High Sheriff of Grafton County, Sheriff Jeff Stiegler, and he gave us his monthly report at that time, and that report basically talks about how many prisoner transports they did in the county sheriff's department, how many arrests they did. They did 56 prisoner transports. They did 30 CSO movements from the jail to the court. They made 31 arrests over the last month. They did civil service processes of about 141, whether that's serving a landlord-tenant writ or a notice of court in a civil matter. They serve, the sheriff's department are the ones that serve those legal notices. They had 14 motor vehicle stops. Right now they've got a total of 385 active criminal warrants and 24 active civil warrants. The total miles driven by the sheriff's department deputies as they do their work for the people of Grafton County. And why that's an important figure is because we have to, the county taxpayers have to pay for the gas that is used by the sheriff's department. And so they drove 24,200 miles last month. So that's the report that we get once a month from the sheriff's department. Oh, one thing to remember is if anybody is interested in attending the county commissioner meetings, either in person, again, those meetings are up at the county complex in North Haverhill, and if you also want to try to attend the meeting or attend the meetings via Zoom, virtual attendance, just let the county commissioner's office know that you want to attend virtually, and we can provide you with that information. If nobody's interested in attending via Zoom, then we don't make it available. But if you're interested in seeing what's going on at our weekly meetings, by all means, please contact, you want to talk probably with Samantha Norcross. She's the administrative assistant to the commissioners, and she can get you that necessary information. But we do have the technology there to have people attend and watch the meetings via Zoom. Then we had a visit from Heather Bryant. She is with UNH Cooperative Extension. We have a UNH Cooperative Extension offices up there at the county complex. Heather is the vegetable and fruit specialist for the Grafton County area. And she has been a very helpful person with regard to a lot of our farm operations. Not necessarily the dairy farm, but certainly the vegetable operations. And maybe some of you have heard that, there was a little bit of for a couple of weeks there, some challenges with regard to perhaps the ongoing operations of the county farm, the Grafton County farm, the dairy farm, and the whole consideration. However, that was a little bit premature in having those discussions. So right now, just let me assure you that the Grafton County farm operations, the dairy operation, the pig operation, the chickens that we have, the growing of the vegetables, the forestry operations, those are all ongoing as they have been. In fact, we plan on having a timber cut this winter. That will bring in some much needed income to the county. All of our forestry operations are all done based upon a forest management plan that's put together by a licensed forester. And we do have a licensed forester through the UNH Cooperative Extension who does have an office there in Grafton County. Jim Frome is his name, and if you want to reach Jim, you can reach him at the UNH Cooperative Extension office. And they certainly have a website that you can get a hold of as well. So Heather Bryant actually came in to talk with us about, the concerns that have been expressed about the farming operation. And she presented the commissioners with a proposal that she has been using and the UNH Cooperative Extension has been using over the last several years with farm and agricultural operations throughout the state of New Hampshire, called whole farm planning. And so this is an opportunity now. Also, our farm manager resigned as of the end of July. So this is kind of an interim period. We do have an acting farm manager right now. But, Heather thought this might be a good time for the commissioners with the farm staff, the Department of Corrections staff, the UNH cooperative folks to kind of reevaluate, but not do away with the farm, but look to where we can see what our strong points are, where we can best utilize our resources as being in the best interest of the people of Grafton County. Keeping in mind that the original purpose of having the farm at the county farm operations in the state, originally from the 1870s, was to provide food and food and in terms of meat, milk products, butter, and eggs and things like that to the residents in the nursing home and to the inmates at the House of Correction and the staff people up there. So to me, especially in this day and age with all the challenges that we're dealing with nationally and throughout the world, having a local, even right on the premises, farm operation where we can store the potatoes and the winter squash and freeze any other vegetables that we grow, we can have a sustainable, reliable food supply just in case things really start to go into problem situations. So, the reliability of the food chain and supply chain and things, we can provide the food issues and our own water right there where we are. And so that is something that's very, very important, and it's a good plan in case things don't go well into the future. So we had a good conversation with Heather, and we are now working on that in conjunction with the Farm Doc program that this commissioner, Commissioner Ahern, introduced to the Board of Commissioners back in March of 2021. And we thought maybe the Farm Doc program had been nixed in early April, but no, it's still alive. So you'll be hearing more about the Farm Doc program in the months ahead as we work to develop with all the people that are involved in this whole farm planning that Heather has brought to our attention. Then we had, at the meeting on August 16th, we had a public hearing with the County Broadband Committee to discuss a grant for finishing up the middle mile. And, the big question is, does Grafton County want to make up to a $13 million financial commitment to completing the middle mile part of this county-wide broadband installation system? And that decision of the commissioners is still up in the air. Whether we work with internet service providers such as New Hampshire Electric Cooperative, or there's a company down in Bristol that's partnering with the town of Bristol, HUB 66, something like that. Folks, if I got the wrong name, I apologize. Forgive me. So we had a public hearing on that. Then we met with the Broadband Committee thereafter, and the Broadband Committee, those that were in attendance, many of them were in attendance virtually via Zoom, and they were going to suggest or provide 3 separate options for the county commissioners to consider and look into. Of course, some of the other things that we have to do at a commissioners meeting, we approve the minutes of the previous meeting. They were approved with some additions, mostly grammatical, and amendments for those things. We have to sign off on the check registers. Every check that leaves Grafton County, paying any type of bill or salary check or anything, they have to be approved by the county commissioners. On top of that, in my capacity, in my service as the clerk of the county commission, every week I have to personally review and sign off on every single invoice that the county pays out every week. And that takes me anywhere from an hour or 2 hours to perform that service. Then there were some other documents that needed to be signed by either the chairperson of the board, with the understanding and the knowledge of the other commissioners. There was an IGT agreement for the state of New Hampshire for long-term care services, and the commissioners voted 3-0 after it was explained to us by the county administrator, Julie Libby, what this was all about. And this was certainly something that would be in the best interest, where it's dealing with having the state help provide for long-term care for our residents here in Grafton County. Then we had a number of closeout documentation for the last fiscal year, which had to be signed by Commissioner Piper as the chairperson, and business grants and microenterprise grants and so on, and other closeout documentation. There was some subrecipient agreement for another local nonprofit. So we're working with them. And so that's pretty much what happens at those meetings. Then we had a meeting yesterday, but at the beginning of the meeting, and I think I would be remiss if I didn't bring this to your attention, the commissioners had all received in the mail a little note from the Federal Aviation Administration dated August 12th, and we received it yesterday, the 23rd of August, and it reads as follows. The Federal Aviation Administration is conducting an aeronautical study concerning the following. Aeronautical study number ASN 2022, etc. The structure is the utility pole number 3, located in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Gives the latitude, the longitude, and the height of this pole, utility pole. And it says the structure described above exceeds obstruction standards. Let me repeat that. The structure described above exceeds obstruction standards. To be eligible for consideration, comments must be made or received on or before September 18th, 2020. And that's if you folks in the public want to make a comment about this decision that's been made by the Federal Aviation Administration regarding that utility pole. It says further, to access complete details regarding this determination, view circulated cases on the internet, and it gives an internet address, which is a lot longer than I can give here, or you can contact them at their office, 404-305-6582. So I didn't want to be remiss in not passing that information on to you folks, especially you folks up in the Haverhill area, and especially if you are a local pilot flying around that area. Okay, the commissioners met yesterday, August 23rd. We start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. The first person that was on the agenda for that day was Ed Wargo with the county's information technology provider, SNS, and he gave us his monthly report. Very interesting report, talking about where the challenges are at the county complex with regard to the various amounts of technology and internet tools. So the biggest challenges right now are in the Department of Corrections and the nursing home, which is where most everything is going on up there and where we provide most of our services. So we did have some equipment alerts. The full Outlook was installed for the department heads just recently. There will be shared calendars and distribution lists for the nursing home. Service tickets. Service tickets were opened. These are for calls that need to be handled by the internet technology folks at SNS. And so there were 434 tickets closed in June, 409 service tickets closed in July, and as of the date of this report, 297 service tickets were closed in August to date. So a lot of stuff going on there. And we certainly appreciate the work that Ed Wargo and Joey up there at the county complex do for the county. He gave us a cyber security infrastructure update. 5 new switches in the Department of Corrections were installed, configured, and tested. They found a bad fiber connection between the administration's closet and the Department of Corrections Closet C, testing and attempting remediation today, which would have been yesterday. Once completed, SNS is ready to begin moving cables over from the old switches to the new courthouse switches, and no, to moving cables from the old switches to the new switches in the Department of Corrections. The switches in the courthouse are next on the list. So that's a pretty comprehensive report on that. We also then had Nicole Mitchell, the Alternative Sentencing Director. She came in and made her monthly report for June and July, and very interesting. She is involved with alternative sentencing programs for adults who have not been sentenced to jail per se, but if these adults who have problems with the criminal system and are found guilty, sometimes they're given a choice, if it's a first offense, to either serve time in jail or to participate in the alternative sentencing programs where they can maybe learn how to change their lives around for the best interest of all concerned, especially the individual who has been charged with this crime, found guilty, and that individual's family. She does a lot with juvenile justice programs throughout the county, so she gave a pretty extensive report, and that report is right here. And she talks about juvenile restorative justice, adult diversion, and I think there's a couple of more. Oh, the CARE and the CARE Plus program, and the mental health court. So that's a lot of work there, and she has a fantastic staff. And Nicole is relatively new as the director of the alternative sentencing, even though she's been with us for a little while already. The next item on the agenda was Jim Oakes, the maintenance superintendent. He came in and gave us, again, a very extensive maintenance report. A lot of things going on. We had an unscheduled power outage on August 3rd. All of the county's electricity comes from Woodsville Water and Light, and they had a regulator in their substation fail, and which caused their system to send out dirty power. And we had a little bit of an education on what dirty power is all about. Talked about the water system, supervisory control and data acquisition. Talked about boiler and pressure vessel inspections, again, within the complex. Talked about the sprinkler systems. Hampshire Fire Protection was in to do a quarterly inspection of all our systems. And there are going to be some needs to update that system for now. Then I talked about some fuel polishing in the different tanks, storage tanks for our emergency generators. Jim gave us an update on the ARPA project status, snow removal implements, the surge grinder, the new generator, the administration building flooring, the wastewater study, which we're coming up with a little bit of backlash from the present provider of that, Woodsville Water and Light, but we're working on that. Gave a report specifically on the courthouse, the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system at the courthouse, and we're going to need to make some updates there. So and of course the nursing home has a number of issues, the kitchen and plumbing throughout, laundry situation. So a lot of things going on there. Very, very complete report by the maintenance supervisor. Okay, I've run out of time. Of course, there are the same things that we do every week, signing off on the checks and updates on other things. So I want to thank the folks here at PBTV. I don't know where the time goes, Jonathan, but appreciate the folks here at PBTV allowing me this opportunity to share this information with you. If you want to get a hold of me, the easiest way is my phone number at my office, 603-764-6024, or my email address, omer.ahern.jr@gmail.com. Thank you. God bless America, and God bless the great state of America. And God bless the great state of New Hampshire. Thank you.